All right, welcome everyone. We're live, Minnesota Wrestling. We're missing one party right now, so just bear with us. Coach Robinson is having technical difficulties or something or the other. But we got three wrestlers on with me right now. Brett Pfarr, Logan Storley, and Nick Dardanes, the larger of the Dardanes twins by a little bit. Typically I start with talking with the coach, but with no coach here, we'll just start rolling in questions for you guys. If you're watching at home, just a reminder, you can tweet us some questions. We'll try to get those in the show, or if you want to use the Q&A app, if you're watching on Google+, you can do that as well. I'll start with you, Logan. So we're just starting off, since Coach isn't here, talk about your team a little bit. You guys are, have a great year so far, undefeated. What do you see out of this team as opposed to different teams you've been on, and what can this team accomplish?
I mean, this team is a little younger. We got the five seniors. All of us are All-Americans, but our younger guys have really picked it up, and it's a process, and they're going to learn throughout the season. I think some are starting to learn how tough this Big Ten schedule is, but right now it's just we got to pick it up a little bit and win those close matches. That's kind of been our problem in some of our duels, is that we've been losing 1-2-point matches, and takedown with all the momentum we have going, we lose the takedown, all of a sudden we lose the match. So right now our young guys are really starting to figure it out, and when they figure it out, we're going to have 10 guys who are going to make a run for a national title. So I'm excited.
You mentioned a Big Ten gauntlet. Coming up next for you guys, you have Illinois, and then you're taking on Penn State, then you're taking on Iowa, and you're taking on Ohio State. I mean, that's a gauntlet if I ever heard of one. So
yeah,
how you guys preparing for that? What's your goals for that? We'll get Coach on here in a second to answer that too. But you go ahead.
They made it.
Pictures of everybody else.
Coach, we're live right now. Just have you hop in here, or just going questions to all the guys real quick. I'll let Logan answer this one, and then we'll get to Coach. Go ahead, Logan. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna go in there. We're gonna try to beat Penn State again, and Iowa and Ohio State. I mean, they're all three tough teams, and Ohio State really had a good duel against Penn State, this past weekend, and so we match up well with all those teams, and there's gonna be big matches, especially for myself with Brown and Evans in there, and it's exciting, but we have to win the swing matches. That number 3 versus 4. Number 5 or 6, we have to win those matches for us to be successful in those duels. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Coach, how's it going? Can you hear us?
Good. I can hear you fine.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you on. So just starting off, tell me a little bit about your team. Just give me an overview. You guys had a great season so far, but tell me what your expectations are moving forward and how you see you guys performing.
I think our team's in a good place right now. I mean, we have, in talking to them, the reality is we have 5 seniors, and they're kind of the backbone of what we're doing right now. We got 5 of the younger guys, and they know that they need to come through, and that's what we're looking forward to them to do. And the object for what we're trying to do is improve from week to week. If we do that and we get better and better, by the time we get to the national tournament, which is where we want to be, I think we'll be a place where we want to be.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. And just to fill you in a little bit, I've got a bunch of fan questions for you, Coach, and some of the wrestlers as well. And we'll get those rolling here in a minute. I just had a couple questions to throw out, get things started. But Nick, my man, obviously, I want to talk to you about your weight change. Went up last year after All-American, come down this year. Just talk about that process and thinking behind it, how you're feeling now as opposed to then, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was bigger, last year, so I got to shrink my body a little bit, and I'm still in the process of doing that. And once I do, I believe I can be on top of the podium.
Awesome. So you feeling good, strong, confident coming out this year?
it's a plus about going down a weight. You know, I'm a lot stronger than these guys, and you know, I got the quickness and the technique. So I think I'll be more successful, even though I was pretty successful last year. But you know, I wanna make it exciting this year and wrestle guys like Stieber and Port and Carter. So I'm excited.
Awesome. And then, you know, you guys had mentioned got the 5 seniors, but you also got some younger guys on the team. Got a young guy here, Brett Pfarr. How's it going, Brett?
Hey there.
So yeah, you know, you're coming in. This is your first big season. You know, starting for the squad full time now. You know, what's it been like for you stepping on the mat? You know, obviously, title contenders, important spot for you to come out and do well. So, how are you feeling?
Pretty good, and I'm really excited whenever I get a home duel. That it's it's always great to be in front of your fans and wrestling, and I think that's probably the biggest reason why I do it. And I came here is just for the fan support and base we have here. It makes it really exciting. So, you know, I got a little time last year, got a little start when Steinhaus was out with his knee injury, but you know, this is quite. I've never had a full season like this yet, so I'm still. I guess it's a learning process, and just go along with it, and it's been good so far.
You mentioned learning. What are you taking away from having the experienced guys that you do on your team that have been so successful? You know, how does that help you?
Well, yeah, I mean, we got, like we said, the 5 seniors, but, you know, I got Storley at 74 and Schiller at 97, so, I mean, I'm always able to wrestle with those guys and learn a lot from them that way, just from the wrestling aspect, but they also know what it's like to be through, I guess, a whole Big Ten season and, you know, compete at, you know, Big Ten individuals and nationals and stuff like that, so they help me, you know, keep my head level and stuff like that as far as competing and preparation, all that good stuff.
Coach, this question for you real quick. You guys are about to hit the meat of your Big Ten schedule, followed by Big Ten's NCAA. So, you know, what's your preparation like for that? How do you stay? I guess how do you navigate, you know, those waters and come out on top in the end?
I think one of the things that we have to think about is one thing we spend a lot of time is in our training, making sure that our guys are doing what they need to do to get where they need to do individually. We know that the Big Ten season's coming up, so focus is really a big deal, especially from the standpoint of we have big dual meets for the week. As an example, we only have one this weekend with Illinois, then we only have one with Penn State, but then, you know, we have Ohio State and right after that Maryland. So what we have to do is we have to take one at a time, not worry about the other ones, and then make sure that in between we do the training for each individual that they need. Different guys need different things at different times. Sometimes guys might need a day off. They might need some time off. Some other guys might need to get in the weight room, add a little bit extra during the. Somebody needs, you know, there's a couple guys that need some extra workouts to get some extra endurance. So it's kind of figuring that and then keeping it all in perspective along the lines of it really doesn't make any difference until the Big Ten tournament. So that has to be our focus in the end, and that everything is that guys have had losses. Most everybody's had a loss somewhere along the way. The key isn't the loss. The key is, okay, we made a mistake. Let's fix it so the next time it doesn't happen again. And I think if we do that, then when we get to the Big Ten tournament, which is really the biggest thing, is because if you don't get qualified, you don't get to the national tournament. So a lot of guys are looking for the national tournament, and they're forgetting the Big Ten tournament. So that's what we want to keep in focus. We want to keep the season in focus, realize where we have to be to do what we have to do, and then do it accordingly.
Thanks, Coach. Nick, I want to go back to you for a sec. You know, obviously having a brother to wrestle with is something that's pretty cool, and to both be so successful, going to the same college. You know, what's that like for you wrestling with your brother? What are the benefits of that?
It's just nice. We do got a lot of guys at our weight, but having Chris as a partner, you know, even throughout the summer, and yeah, just, you know, another guy who pretty much does the same things. He's always cutting weight like I am and eating this pretty much the same way. We're pretty much, you know, like the same person when it comes to wrestling, and we try and help each other out as much as possible.
So you guys just cut weight and eat. Cut weight.
That's all we do now. Eat, sleep, and wrestle. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Logan, I had a question for you. Actually, a couple questions, but turning back to you, I want to talk about your quarterfinal last year. I was right there at side for that match. Against Kokish, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how the heck did you pull that off, man? For those who don't know, he got a takedown with what? You started with 2 seconds left or 1 second left?
Yeah, we got in a scramble and they stopped the clock for blood, so it was like a minute break, and then I think they put 6 seconds on the clock, and I got takedown with a second left or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just I knew I had to take a shot, and maybe cause a scramble, and I took a few fakes, and he was backpedaling real hard, and I'm like, I went for a super duck, and he kind of fell over, and I landed in a double leg with my toes, hanging an inch over, and put up the 2 with a second left, and it was pretty awesome. But the main thing was, when Jay and Becker were talking to me in the corner was, I had to shoot. I mean, we knew he was going to back up, but I had to shoot and force something because, otherwise I'm going to lose the match. So what do I have to lose if I get taken down? There's nothing more to lose. So I had to take a shot and make a scramble, and it worked out in my way.
Yeah, I mean, that was an awesome match. If you guys didn't watch that anywhere, you need to check it out. But just along the same lines with you, you've had the same sort of crew, I'd say, atop the 174, Evans, Kokish, Brown, all those guys. You're wrestling. You got to be familiar with all those guys. I mean, it's insane how many times you guys have wrestled each other. So,
yeah.
What's the difficulties with that, with knowing your opponent so well and being known by your opponent so well? And how do you elevate yourself above that crop?
If you see our match, all the match scores, most of them are low scoring. And it's because we've wrestled each other so many times, and it's hard because he knows what I'm gonna do, I know what he's gonna do. But the one thing that I really have to do better is I gotta force my style on him. I gotta make him wrestle with me. I gotta make him scramble, make him wrestle hard for 7 minutes. And some of those matches where I lost, I waited till the end. Against Evans last year, he rode on my ankles and held me down in double overtime, and same with Brown. He got 1 takedown first period, and then didn't do that much afterwards. So for me, I really have to make those guys wrestle my style for 7 full minutes and make them scramble with me.
Awesome. Thanks, man. And Brett, before we get to fan questions here in a second, can you tell us about your little machine shop wrestling room deal that you have going on?
Yeah, we were talking before we went on live, but when I grew up on a farm, so my dad took our machine shop, which was pretty decent size, and we pretty much turned into our wrestling facility. So we had a close to full-size mat, and then we had all kind of workout equipment. We had the bench and a squat rack, and we had a pull-up bar and stuff like that. And my dad, we just collected stuff throughout the years, but put a corn stove in there to heat it and everything, and that's where me and my younger brother Chris, and actually my older brother too, but he graduated 4 years ahead of me. And we always had our teammates out too, so we're always doing extra training and stuff like that out in our shed. So,
I mean, that's unreal. I've never heard of that before. It's just
yeah, most people they'll have a piece of a mat in their basement, and then we had the whole thing, I guess, growing up. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. That's sweet, man. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left before you guys got to get off here. So I want to go to the fan questions. We've got quite a few of them sent in, so thank you guys for sending them all in for our crew here. I'm just going to go down the list, and if this question speaks to you, if it's a general question, go ahead and answer it. If not, I'll direct it to someone. But first question is, what item or thing are you unable to live without during the wrestling season? What do you got to have besides food?
Food and water was what I was thinking.
I was thinking ice cream.
Ice cream, food, and water?
Yeah. When you're cutting weight, water is probably the most essential thing in your life. So, but I don't know.
Without food or water in there, I don't know, because I love Whole Foods. I always go there. There all the time.
Whole Foods. All right. Well, Well, I'll send this one to Logan. What's your favorite memory as a Gopher during your career?
Probably my all-time favorite memory would have to be my true freshman year against Lofthouse in the quarterfinals. Hit an ankle pick with about 2-3 seconds left, and just to know I was going to be an All-American that year is pretty unreal. My last few national tournaments, I've been disappointed in the semifinals, but to have to take them down, especially Iowa versus Minnesota, and I think I was 3-1 against them on the year. But to get that takedown with 2 seconds left and just look up and to know I was going to be an All-American as a true freshman was pretty awesome, and it was really probably my best moment in Gopher wrestling.
Was that your big get swole pick?
Yeah, one of these.
Awesome, thanks, man. Coach, I'll send one over to you. When was the last time you wrestled a live go, and did you take him?
Yeah, that's for you.
This is for me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, geez. Well, let's see. Today's Thursday. See, I took Storley down on Monday.
Yeah.
I reversed Nick on Tuesday, and I put Pfarr on his back yesterday. So I'm looking for Crails today, but I'm taking the day off because I'm a little tired and beat up.
Oh, you're going to get Schiller tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that'll be a good one, too.
Well, I got to know, who taught Ness that little, what do they call it, gator bacon bowl? Who taught him that?
I did.
think that Dylan has been doing Dylan's thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Sanders has a wrestling match of him and Ness when they were him and Jason when they were like 6 or 7, and Ness hit the kick over too back then. So it's a family thing, I think.
That's got to stress you guys out, yeah, a little
Sometimes Egan takes credit for Dylan's stuff, but we all know he's lying.
bit.
He's been a bit.
Right on. Okay, Brett, I'll stick with you since I got you up on the screen here. How do you keep your hair so perfectly feathered while wearing headgear? And also, that's a follow-up question, how do you feel about being referred to as a kin doll? It's back-to-back.
Well, to the first question, I'm going to have to refer it to Storley because he taught me everything I know about hair. And the Ken doll thing, I don't know. I tried to ignore it.
Okay.
You can't be a tough wrestler and be called a Ken doll, so no. I just block out the haters, I guess.
Storley, do you have like a hair club?
Yeah, I started it back, sophomore year, and the guys really jumped on it, and I guess Pfarr's getting a little more credit than me. It's that blonde hair, so a little disappointed.
Well, now we can set the record
straight.
You walk into Pro Cuts and you ask for the Logan Storley, and that's what you get.
Very nice. All right. Let's see. I'll send this one to Nick. See if you can answer this one. What 4 people are on your Mount Rushmore of Gopher wrestling?
Wow. Let's say, I'd say Luke Becker, Brandon Eggum, Jay, and Jason. Just because they're our coaches, man. 3 o'clock.
Good choice.
Well, Coach, what's yours?
There'd be, I could name 2 of them, Robert Redford, or Mel Gibson.
So they gotta be wrestlers. Go for wrestlers.
Well, if I had to say go for wrestlers, I'd say Brett Pfarr, okay, Nick Dardane, Storley. Okay, those would be.
Can I be the 4th?
I would say that I would want 4 because those 3 are actually equal to 4. So they would fill up Rushmore very nicely.
Well, Coach, you're good.
And especially with that hair. Okay, 2 of them in the hair club for men. That would be perfect.
Oh man. Well, Coach, since I got you, what national title was the most memorable for you?
Every one has kind of been memorable in a different way. Obviously, the first one in Iowa City, having been from Iowa City and actually having 10 All-Americans for the first time. I mean, that was very, very special, and you can't ever replace anything that's the number one, the first thing you do it. The second one in 2002 was good because it said basically it wasn't a fluke. We could do it again. And then the one coming back in 2007 was special because it wasn't just one group of guys. We were able to do it with someone else. We were able to get to the top. So every one of them is kind of special in their own way.
Very good. Let's see. Let's open to any of you guys. What's the best run-out song you've ever heard in your days of wrestling?
I like Tony Nelson's run-out song. I'm not even sure what it's called, but
It's got to be some sort of rock or hardcore or something, right?
yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, any like AC/DC or Metallica would be a great run-out song, you know.
That's what I was thinking too.
Helps you up.
Okay, Brett, what do you plan to do after college besides model jeans?
He had some. He gave me a head up. He gave me a heads up for this when he saw it yesterday. But I mean, the logical step after being a jeans model would be an underwear model, isn't that correct? I have to say that.
Very good. All right. Well, I'm not looking forward to that. I'll just say that. All right. So, Nick, what is your favorite away venue?
It's got to be Iowa City, just because the atmosphere there. They're a rival, but I'm glad we get to wrestle there again at National Duels in the finals there, because they hate us and we like to shut them up. So.
Is that a unanimous answer to that question? Everyone loves wrestling in Iowa.
Oh yeah.
I haven't wrestled there yet, but I will travel down to watch it last year, and I'm pretty excited to get down there again.
Okay. Coach, here's a couple for you. Who's a guy in the room that you might not see the results right now, but it's working his tail off? The sleeper guy, I guess you could say.
In our program,
Yes, sir.
we got a couple guys, and guys that will come out next year that we're kind of excited about. And there's 3 or 4 of them, and they're going to fit in the lineup nicely, I think. You know, we're looking at 25, 34, 70, and then switching some guys around from 55 to 65. So it'll be interesting.
Okay.
I don't think you said one. I don't think you said one college weight, Jay.
What?
I don't think you said one college weight there. You said 70, 54.
Well, us old people, we can't hear. You guys know that. He doesn't know that. You guys how bad I am.
Well, guys, tell me what people want to know. What your off-season training's like. What you do, how much live wrestling, drilling, weights, cardio, what you do during the off-season to prepare yourself.
It's just practicing 3 or 4 days a week on the mat, and then lifting. Some guys do 4 days a week, depending on if they need to get bigger and stronger. Other guys do, 2 or 3. But yeah, we're on the mat. I'd say 4 days. 4 days a week, and most guys do stuff on their own just because they don't have competition coming up. So, pretty much as much as
guys, me and Becker work on a lot of sparring. Working on certain positions, and not so much as live all the time, but just working on those positions to really learn how to fall into new things while we're going about 60-70%.
And then Jade puts on his intensive camps, and me and some of the other guys, younger guys, work them most of the summer. So it's just you're always around with the kids, and we always have our own practices, and we're lifting 4 days a week, like Nick said. So I mean, we're always around wrestling the whole summer.
All right, fellas. One last question for you guys. We'll keep it one-word answers. I know you guys. We gotta kick you off here in a second. So just last question. What matchup are you most looking forward to for the remainder of the season? And we can start with Brett and just go down the line, and then we'll get you guys out of here.
Iowa.
Logan?
Yep.
I'm going to say Penn State at Penn State.
And I'm going to say Ohio State.
All right. So you guys just going to take all of them out.
Yeah. They're all exciting.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, for coming on. Coach, what's coming up next for you? Illinois is the next duel, I believe.
We have Illinois this coming week. Then we have Penn State. Then we have Iowa. Then we have Ohio State. So we got quite a run coming up here for the next 4 weeks. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of excitement, a lot of good wrestling here at Minnesota.
Sounds great. Yeah, pay attention. Gopher Wrestling. Trying to get another national title under their belt. So thanks for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yes,
look
sir.
forward to chatting in the future.
Jay, strap on your shoes. Get ready for practice. I'm coming today.
I